Hello, hello. I think I'm online. Hopefully. Okay, that should do it. Hello. So I see there's a bit of AI chat in there already. Hey, Flaming Burn. Glad you can make it. Yeah, AI is a very controversial topic at the moment. I do have a bit of my my 2 cents into this topic. I won't go too deep into it just because the AI topic is endless. There's so many perspectives to it, but I will say this. Like, why should we learn AI? Why should we learn Houdini in midst of there's so many other options? Like, there's so many other applications out there, and there's AI. So before AI, it was just a choice, Blender or Houdini or Unreal or Houdini. Like, it was a simple choice of which application to choose from. Now we have like another thing to consider, like the boom of AI. Should we even bother learning? So I will touch a little bit on that topic. Sora and stuff. Yes, Sora is making a lot of buzz. Love my videos. Thank you very much. Your comments help me continue making more and more videos. I am getting more into live stream, trying to get myself more comfortable into this zone, and then this way I can deliver more content to you, because with full length videos I need an intro, I need a thumbnail. Well, I still need a thumbnail, but I can't produce as much content as fast as I can stream it. Like, I have so many projects. I create so many projects that never see the light of day just because I can't edit the videos in time. I'm hoping that if I can get more familiar with this streaming thing, I can push things out faster. Yes, AI. Everyone's talking about AI. AI. I can see the chat. Hello everyone. Oh, let's see. And I've also prepared a few, as you can see on the screen right now that's playing, a few very simple 5-minute projects just to show you that Houdini is not slow and why you should learn Houdini. Let's see. Okay, the chat's going really fast. I think it's extremely high level of control to make Houdini worth learning. SideFx has actually been working on a lot of improvements over the years, and it's made Houdini a lot easier to use. And I'll show you today. I've actually, beyond these small little projects you see on the screen, I've prepared a few more that are related to simulations, the newer SOP simulation tools that I don't know if I'll have time to go over, but I can at least show it to you. And they make the Houdini workflow a lot faster. It's almost like dropping one node down. It's not exactly a one-click solution, but it's very close to. It's like a one node, you drop it down, and it creates the whole simulation setup for you. So you can go Pyro config, and you just pick the template that you want, and then it'll set it up a full working Pyro simulation. And that's really cool. And that's the newer SOP, new-ish SOP simulation tools. Could you help me? Is the correct way to learn Houdini? I can give you, so someone's asking, can I help them learn Houdini? I can give you a few tips. So I'm not an expert. I have my moments, but I can give you a few tips and share how I learned Houdini. And how most of what I learned from Houdini is self-taught. So take my advice with a grain of salt. I've never been to an official school. Like, I've taken online courses and watched tutorials online, and that's how I began. So take what I have with a grain of salt. Oh, my videos are very helpful. Thank you very much. That's very delightful to hear. No, there's no wrong way to learn Houdini. No, there's no wrong way. As long as you're learning Houdini, it's fine. I mean, if anyone has any wrong way of learning Houdini, I probably knocked that off my list. I've tried so many different ways of learning Houdini. At the beginning, it is challenging. I have to admit, the UI, like, I started in Houdini 16, I think. I can't remember, but back in the day. So it wasn't as nice as it is today. It looks the same, actually. The UI looks the same, but over the years, SideFX has done a wonderful job of adding a lot of bits here and there to make the workflow a lot better and a lot easier to use. Houdini forever. Yes, I agree. Stream is a really good thing, especially about Houdini. Yeah, I really like the stream thing because then I can actually interact with people. You know, recording videos is nice, but I don't get feedback. This is instant feedback. If you have any questions, you can actually ask them right away, and I can try my best to answer it to the best of my ability. I was really hoping to do like a Discord thing, and that way I could actually see your screen as well. Like, you can see mine and I can see yours. I have this Nitro thing, but I couldn't get that working. I wasn't sure. Well, next time. That would be that'd be really cool. Well, on to the main topic of today's session. Why should we learn Houdini? I mean, there's so many other choices. Like I said before, there's applications. You have Blender, you have Unreal Engine, and they're both Unreal and Blender's free. Unreal Engine is still free if you're earning less than $1 million. So I'm assuming most of the people watching this video is under that category. So it's safe to assume Unreal Engine is free. So why should we learn Houdini then? Where does that put Houdini in all of this? Houdini is infamous for proceduralism and and it's non-destructive workflow. Now, a lot of different applications have challenged this throne, but it hasn't taken its place yet. Houdini lives and breathes proceduralism. I mean, Blender is trying. I mean, they're trying to add a bit more procedural workflow into them with the geometry nodes, which is really awesome. I've seen a lot of people create a lot of amazing things in Blender with geometry nodes, but it's still not Houdini level. Houdini was born with proceduralism. The whole application was designed for procedure and non-destructive workflows with the nodes, with this, with everything. So, Houdini's HDAs gives it a lot of power because you can take the HDAs and you can integrate it with other softwares. So that's something I'm going to be dipping into. I'm going to be talking about a little bit how big name studios actually making blockbuster movies, like the second movie of Venom, used HDAs because the studio that did the slime effect in Venom, in the second movie of Venom, the Carnage, Let There Be Carnage, DNEG did it, did the special effects, and most of their character animators were using Maya. So Maya is, which is understandable because Maya is still the industry standard for character animation. But they still wanted the Houdini realistic simulations to create the slime. So what they did was go to Houdini, create the tools, the HDA tools that would simulate the slime. And I'm assuming they would have the character as an input, the character animation as an input into the HDA. Now, with the Houdini Engine. This is something I learned when I was watching. This is actually a Houdini Connect video. So this is what I learned, that there's actually, you can install the Houdini Engine in Maya. And that's how they got both things without restructuring their whole company workflow. Like, the character animators can still work in Maya, which is what they're used to and what they were trained to do. And they can just get technical artists to create the HDA tools or the technical tools to simulate the slime, export it as an HDA, plug it into Maya. After the character animators do their magic, and then plug it in, and they would just get simulated slime right there in the application that they're familiar with. So this is very powerful. And the topic of AI, because AI is sort of like this magical god that can do everything now. So why should we learn Houdini? This is a question that a lot of people are asking, not just newbies, even people that have already started in their studies into Houdini may start to question this. Honestly, my 2 cents, I am a little skeptical about AI. I mean, it looks amazing what they have accomplished so far, but what Sora has done right now, it's what currently is not production ready. I mean, there's a lot of flaws. A lot of people can see flaws, even with the videos that they released. So the fundamental concept of AI is that the generative AI models feed off of data, human content on the web. They scrape the internet for that. And then now you got a godlike generative AI that can automate content. So we're seeing more and more people automatically generate content, and it's literally polluting the internet with all this. Okay. So what happens next? The generative AI feeds off of the content again? So what happens when they run out of human content to feed off of? They start feeding off of the content that is generated by the AI itself? I can't see how that's going to improve the AI system. Like, generating stuff to feed back to itself? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I am a little skeptical about AI. I think it might hit a peak. I don't know when that peak will come. And I'm not saying don't worry about AI, just because AI is here to stay. Well, I think we can all agree that there's just too much benefit for anyone to say, we're going to ban AI from this. That's not going to happen. So you're going to face with a lot of bosses or executives or whoever's holding the budget in your organization, who looks at the budget and they're going to go like, okay, AI can save me 20% off my budget right now. It doesn't matter if AI will, the quality, what AI will bring. That's all they see right now. And if you're like, if you're a company that's struggling, sorry, you're going to go like, well, I'm going to, you're going to, it's very tempting to turn to AI. But as I said, I'm really skeptical about AI, the quality that AI will ever reach to replace humans. That I'm really skeptical about, but it won't matter because your boss goes like, your boss is, this is all they see, the budget and what AI can save. And they're gonna restructure the company based on that, regardless of the results. I think we may start to see companies start to shift, and we're gonna see like, oh, there's, companies that are 100% using human-made content during development, and then you're going to see companies that are heavily AI used. And I think we'll be able to tell the quality in the product, in the end product that gets pushed out. Unfortunately, by the time supervisors or whatever managers realize that, AI is not that great, they'd probably just restructure the company. The damage would already be done. So I'm not telling you don't be afraid of AI, but I don't think it'll take over humans anytime soon. I mean, the AI companies may have to really change the model, to actually find a new way to train them when they run out of human content to feed off of on the internet with all these, because the whole objective or not objective, the whole functionality of generative AI is automating content generation. You're polluting the same pool of data that you need to train your AI on. So that is pretty messed up. I don't know how things will turn out. Only time will tell. But like I said, I'm a little skeptical about that. And that's more of a reason to learn Houdini, because that way you can scale up your skills and you'll always be able to do something AI cannot. And that's artistic creativity. AI cannot do that. It can only generate things that it sees. It can't generate things it hasn't seen. And that's with being a 3D artist. You can create anything beyond your imagination. And that's very powerful. I keep thinking of iRobot because in that movie with Will Smith, they talk about the AI being able to dream and imagine. Well, we're not there yet. So if we get there, then maybe we should be afraid. But we're not there yet. It's not even close. So, there were a few questions I wanted to go over, like, should I learn Houdini? Is Houdini hard? Is Houdini slow to use? So there's a lot of Houdini has been known to be not as fast as in workflow. The workflow isn't as fast as other 3D applications, like a click solution. You click a button, boom, you get a forest. I think that's what Unreal Engine, some of the plugins that they have, like you click something, you get a forest. You click something, and then you get infinite mesh. I'm referring to the nanite. But Houdini is not slow. Like the workflow is not slow either. SideFX has, as I mentioned, has been adding a lot of improvements over the years, and there's like lab nodes, which are the way I think of lab nodes, it's very similar to Blender's add-ons. So every lab node is sort of like a generator or an extra feature. And also, SideFX has added these new-ish simulation SOP tools that has made the simulation workflow a lot faster. You can get things in less than 5 minutes. A fully working simulation. And then at least you have somewhere to go from there, and you can start tweaking what you want. Now, is Houdini hard? Is it hard to learn? It's different. Houdini is different. It is different from other 3D applications. But as we can see, more and more applications are starting to take a little bit from Houdini. Like Blender's geometry nodes. It's node-based, and they have a spreadsheet. So they're starting to take their 2 cents from Houdini's workflow as well. I mean, but that still does not make it easy to learn Houdini. I admit this UI has not changed much over the decades. Not too much. I mean, the color scheme has changed. And Houdini, if you look back in Houdini 16, it pretty much is the same thing. You have your shelf tool on the top and everything. I mean, there is bits here, there, and there that have been improved. I think the daunting thing when you first install Houdini is that you look at this, I don't know what to do. They really could use like a welcome tour screen, like those, like what Adobe does. I think that would benefit it really, really well. But we also have a lot of tutorials. Back in the day, I keep saying that. Back in the day when I started Houdini, there were very, very little tutorials online and resources. Now we have a lot more to get people started. And that helps. That helps a lot. Now, I will show you in just a bit. Actually, why don't I show a few of them? Just to prove to you that Houdini is not hard and it's not slow either. I'm going to show you some of these small projects. Let's see. The cable one is my favorite because it's very useful. So, okay, let's just create this. Let me start a new one. That's this one. That's this cable one over here. Oh, I forgot my handy. This cube one over here that's flashing yellow, that's the one in the thumbnail. I took it to another level, so it's a lot. There's a lot more cubes in this one. The one in the thumbnail is actually a little less. So I took it up one more level. Sorry, I'm just loading up another version of Houdini. There you go. Okay. Now let's do the cable one. And I'll show you that Houdini is not slow. And it's not hard either. Okay. Oh, I really should begin. Okay. Fresh into Houdini. You open it up, you see this. There's one thing you need to know. You need a geometry context. This gets you inside another level. Now, why would you do that? Well, why would you confuse everyone by putting level within level? Well, Houdini is very organized. And in Blender, you have like blend files, and you can actually append blend files on top of each other with the newer asset browser. So the asset browser in Blender is based off blend files. In Houdini, you can think of that. In Houdini, you have geometry nodes. I can have multiple geometry nodes, and this would be like my background in my scene. And this could be like my character animation. It keeps everything organized. Sorry. It keeps everything organized, and you're able to turn them off and on. Oh, I should. Let's see. Let's put a box here because we're going to use the box anyways. And I'm going to put some type of mesh. You can turn them on and off. And the best thing is you can even translate it in this context. Now, you can move this around without affecting the stuff inside the geometry node, which is very powerful because sometimes you want to create a character, you give this off to your sculptor, your 3D modeler, and you go like, create this rubber toy for me. And then, okay, they'll create it, and they're going to put it in the origin, hopefully. Because then everything is aligned. You know where everything is. I mean, if they put it in like all the way up here, the first time you load it up, you don't see it. You're going to be wondering what's going on. So this is really nice organization, how you can move it around, place it, lay it out on this context without actually affecting what's inside here. So you can see, hopefully you can see that origin, then it's still in the 0, 0 position. The 1 is here, -1, 1, and 1. So 0 is still here. If we go up, I know the rubber toy didn't move, the grid moved. So this is 4 now. This is 1, 1. So the grid moved, which is a little awkward. So the grid moved over here, is what I'm trying to say. This is still the origin position. You can lay things out and to see how they look like without affecting the actual geometry inside. And that's really powerful. This type of node setup. Well, let's show off that cable first. I'm going to merge this together. So there's a shortcut to merge these is select the two boxes, nodes, and then Alt, and then just drag them out and you'll get a merge. So I'm going to select this box and I'm just going to move it over. So select this box, come over to the viewport and press enter. Here. Now I'm actually going to isolate this side and this side. So I only want those two. Now deselect for the like the inverse, because I don't want to delete those sides. I only want to delete everything else. And then cables. Give it a second. This is really large. Radius. Now, this is turned, let me get my handy. Over here, this is turned on input curve. What I really want is connect surfaces. And you have your cables. So it's using the two sides that we had, that I selected on the two boxes in order to get these cables in. Simulation, you can actually simulate it. This is fake simulation. Okay. You can actually feed this. There should be a Venom simulation embedded inside this cable generator, but I'm not going to turn it on because it's going to take a while to cook. So this was really quick to get you going. This cable generator is part of a massive collection of lab nodes. So there's tons of things you can do with lab nodes. The cable generator is just one of them. And this speeds up the workflow tremendously. Now, I just wanted to talk about a little bit more about why would people say Houdini slow if we have all these different the lab tools are relatively newish, but breaking down the stereotype of that Houdini is slow, why would they have that stereotype to begin with? It's because when you're working with large scale projects, Houdini does take time to prepare, but working in any large scale projects requires preparation time as well. When you have to collect your assets, when you actually have to sculpt, you have to build a 3D model all your assets. Now, in the season 6 of Game of Thrones, the visual effects was made by Rodeo FX. Now, this is another Houdini Connect story that they posted on, that sidefx posted on their channel. And they were interviewing a VFX supervisor, M.2 Rolu. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that name. And he described the workflow that they used and the challenges of that project was that Game of Thrones had turnaround episodes every week. So they needed really, really quick workflows. And he actually said Houdini was really fast and was really easy to deliver those. It was a breeze. Well, I don't know about breeze, but he said it was really easy to simulate all the simulations in Houdini because they built the tools ahead of time. So the preparation time it took a long time. They took months to prepare. With any large scale projects, you always have a large amount of preparation time. You have to, as I said, you have to have a collection of assets. So they used practically almost everything for Houdini. They used the flip for the water and ocean, the pyro for the fire, RBD glue constraints for the destruction, clothing for Venom destructions, and they were all done in Houdini. So assets and tool building took most of the time. But when it came to production, it was a lot quicker. They just feed in all the data into like their the asset data into the inputs of their HDAs and then just simulate and render. Now, they probably have to tweak a lot of things to match the color, the lighting and everything, and to match the real environment. If they had talents and acting on screen, on set, they probably have to match that. But that is, at least you have all the simulations all ready and in place, and you just render it. So that is very interesting. I think in that sense, a lot of people think Houdini takes a long time. It's slow because it takes me a month to prepare this simulation, this tool, but actually using it only takes, a small fraction of that time. But this is the power of Houdini, because when you have a project, they're going to give you time to prepare. You can't expect to work on a large scale project and deliver something the next day. I mean, that would be like pre-visualization maybe, which Houdini can still do. And I will just show you these 5-minute SOP simulations. Okay. I'm just gonna create a new one. So if you come here and you just go flip configure. So we're inside the geometry contacts. If I just pick this one, the lava one, I'll just click it. Give it a second. It needs to load. Okay, this is already set up. This is sort of like the hello world of flip fluids. You can just play it. It's similar. You have something working right off the bat. I mean, this is not production ready, but you have something working and you can slowly improve on this, change the velocity, change the emission, change the collision geometry, change the resolution. You can slowly work on this. And it's really nice to have something that's already working. So I'm trying to demystify some of the stereotypes of Houdini being slow. It's not slow, at least not anymore. These SOP tools have been around for a while now. I believe the first simulation SOP tool that sidefx upgraded was the RBD SOP tools. And that was, hope my memory serves me right, it was introduced in Houdini 17. I started seeing it. And then slowly, sidefx has been adding more and more simulation tools to the SOP level. And we're getting more and more of these type of setups. Like this literally took me 1 minute to put down and wait for it to cook. There's a lot of more of these. Pyro config, that these are all configured. I'm gonna use the ground explosion. Okay, give it a second. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay. Let's play this. Cool. This is with me just dropping down one thing. I found this amazing. I mean, you can work with this. This is not, I mean, I wouldn't, well, actually you could. If this is good enough for you, you could put this as something in the background of your shot, of your scene, if you really needed it. But the point is, you have something that's ready to go. You can tweak upon this, update it, you know, add your little flavor to it to make it your own. Let's look at another one of these. Flip this one. Give it a second. Okay. Oh, I should have zoomed in. Okay, let it simulate. This one's a little less exciting. Just falls down. Splat. There's actually a lab node that does something very similar to this as well. It throws a ball of water and to make a splash, and then you can use the splash as like to 3D model something. Okay, I think that's enough. Flip does take a while to load. This one is showing off the viscosity of water. So water itself is very, there's a force that sticks, allows you to stick water to itself. So it's sort of like, you know how when you're making coffee, oh, but you might, I'm really old fashioned. I have that little coffee filter thing that I boil water and pour my water onto this little funnel that is carrying my coffee grains, and water doesn't go through the sides because there's viscosity that's holding the water together, and so the coffee only drains from the bottom. And there is a splatter node in the labs. So I just wanted to show you that because that one's really cool. Okay. So if we go labs, splatter. I thought this one was really cool. Give it a second. Play it. Okay. Now, there's two outputs. One is the fluid simulation. So let's put a note here. This is flip sim. And then the other one, the second input, if we hover the mouse over it, if you hover the mouse over it and then pay attention to this part. Oh, shoot. Okay. That part. Okay, so I got here. If I hover this, you can see that there's a tooltip on the bottom. So it tells you what the output is about, what it is. So this is the geometry flip geo. And this is really handy if you're modeling something. If you want to like you just need a splatter of liquid on the floor and just need that. I mean, I got this right away just by one lab node. You can even make it a little high quality, like a little higher resolution. Let's see. Particle separation. Oop. Here. So particle separation. Here. The smaller this number is, the higher the resolution. So it's 0.1. So this is a little, you have to think the other way. Particle separation, it's saying how far apart each flip particle do you want them to be? How close do you want your neighbors to be? Well, if you want them to be closer, you need a smaller distance. So smaller distance equals more neighbors, more flip fluids. Hopefully that'll help you think. This analogy will help a little bit. And this is amazing. I don't even have to resimulate. Say this is the only frame that I want. I can just switch this over and I just care about this one frame. Then you can put a time shift. This will freeze it on this frame. Let me get rid of my overlays. This will freeze it at this frame. I'm gonna get rid of this because right now, if I change the frame, this changes with it. So I'm gonna right click and delete this because right now it's locked on to that frame and it'll always be on frame 78. So if I come down here to the timeline, I move this around, nothing's gonna change. This is really awesome for modeling. So let's just go back. Okay. What other things? Oh, the Pyro Shockwave. One of my favorites. If you come here, Pyro, configure, Shockwave. Give it a second. Just gonna grab a drink. Okay. If we do... Okay, I'm just going to render this. I'm going to simulate it, sorry. This does take a little bit longer. Now, most of the Pyro in Houdini 20 is using GPU. So the Pyro will cook as fast as your GPU will let it. You can actually turn off the GPU if you have a more powerful CPU. And I'll show you that in just a second. Just give it 1 second, let it finish loading. I mean, this is pretty fast just because it's using, I do have a pretty powerful GPU though. I'm running a 4090. So, yeah. Oh, okay, I'm starting to run out of, don't do that. Okay. I ran out of cache. Because it's using my GPU RAM. But this is really quick. Like, I got this running in 2 seconds. Just drop one thing down. You can change around. Now, if you do have a more powerful CPU, I believe you can turn it off. Fields. Here, minimal open CL solve. This should turn on some of the switch some of the simulation some of the CPU simulations on and turned off some of the GPU. I'm not sure if it can turn off all of it, but this is handy. Like, why would you do that? Because GPU is so much faster. It's because there's very limited RAM on GPU. Like, as you can see here, I ran out of RAM already. It's starting to. So this blue bar here tells you how much is cached in RAM. I already ran out of RAM over here by the time I got to 48, and that's not much for a small simulation like this. You have more RAM on your PC, for your CPU, in comparison to the GPU. So this is where it'll come in handy. Or sometimes I like the best of both worlds. You can just throw down a file cache node, just cache it. So if you have a solid state drive, which is really nice to a really good bang for your buck to upgrade your PC if you already don't have it yet, is those newer fancy M.2 SSDs. They're so fast. They're very worth your money to upgrade, because that one piece of upgrade, just upgrading that, will level up your entire PC. Almost every application uses disk storage at some point in time, even your browser. So by upgrading your disk, your storage, which is the M.2 SSDs, it upgrades almost everything in your PC. If you don't already have it, though, it would seem like an upgrade. If you already have it, then you're already benefiting from it. And especially these simulations, because if you have a slow disk, it will bottleneck the entire process. If you have a fast disk, if you have like a mix like me, because I go through hard drives like I go through butter every month, it's crazy. If you have a lot of hard drives, like I can't, like those M.2s are not cheap. I mean, they're relatively cheap in when you consider that the upgrade, the bang for your buck that you get for it, the value that you get for it. But they're still not cheap. Like they're not free. They cost a couple $100. You can have a mix, and they're very small. The storage size is really, really small. So I have I think, let me see, 4 disk drives, like the spinning disk drives. Those are like the cheaper ones, like more affordable ones. I have like 4 of those, and then I have the M.2 SSDs, and I use that as my one for the boot up drive, and that's the C drive. If you're using Windows, it would be your C drive, your boot up drive. And I have another one for simulations, because they're really expensive for the larger disk drive. So the boot up drive is really small. I think it's like 250 gigabytes. Not sure. Maybe 500. I'm not sure. And then I have a larger one. I put more of my investment on another one that I solely use. I don't install much. Very limited. I'm very picky what I install in it. So it's like real estate. you have to pick and choose which application you want to install in it, just because it's limited and I don't have a lot of money. So I think I bought a 2 terabyte one for the M.2 SSD for the second one, and I use that to store all my geo files, these file caches, because that drive is a lot faster. And this gives you the best of both worlds, because then you don't need to save these. You don't, like, not forever. Like after the project's done, you render it out, you save the rendered version onto your spinning disk drive. That's how I work, because those I have a lot more and they're a lot cheaper. So I try to keep the M.2 SSDs as clean as possible. I'm very picky what goes onto it. Is this application worth that space? It's like real estate. It has to be worth it. Like, how often do I use it? That's the question I ask. How annoyed would I be if I had to wait for this to load? That's the question I ask. If I get really annoyed, okay, this goes on you are gonna deserve the space on the M.2. So I'm very picky about that. I hope that helps. I mean, it saves a lot of money, because the M.2s are not cheap, but they're relatively cheap in comparison of the value that you get for the upgrade on your PC. I highly encourage that you get one of those, especially if you're using Unreal Engine. That's even written in the recommendations of Epic Games, that if you use Unreal Engine, that you should get an SSD. Just because Unreal Engine's huge, and it loads a lot of stuff. let's see. I'm just gonna look at my notes to see what other things I need to cover. Yeah, that's about it. That's about all I had for today. Could show you some more lab notes. The ones that here. Oh, let me show you the tree one. This tree one is really awesome. This guy over here. I think that's worth showing. That's really, really awesome. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let me turn this off. Go back. Oh, another thing is when you turn it off. So when you turn it on, I had the Pyro sim in it. And you click on, I don't know, frame 24, it'll load it. It'll start cooking it. Now, I hope you see in the bottom. Bottom here, it's starting to cook. Right when I went to frame 24 and I enabled this flag. So that's one thing you need to know. One good thing is that if you turn this off, you can go anywhere you want. It shouldn't cook. Oh, I think it's because I have it selected. Okay, now it won't cook. So don't select it. You have to turn it off, and if you don't select it, it won't cook. So I'm going to come over here. And we're going to make a tree rig. And it's going to be done in like 2 minutes. LSystem. Drop that down. Let me zoom in. Then I'm going to drop down a polywire. Let me use the lab nodes polywire because that's a lot better. This one. Little large. So I'm going to turn down the width. And I'm gonna, sorry, just give me 1 second. This guy and to the width. I'm gonna turn this down. Too little. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn this into a rig. We're gonna have a rig tree right away. Bone deform. Now this may be a little bit beyond for little advanced for newcomers, but I just want to show you how powerful this is. Oops. This one. Give me 1 second. Wire. Bind and capture to curve. Okay. Sorry. So LSystem lab polywire. I'm just gonna get my fancy. And don't forget to click this, and I changed the width. So the width, and enable this bind and capture mesh to curve. This will turn it into a rig. It'll take the curve and it'll turn it into a rig, and it'll create, in Houdini, it's called bone captures. It's actually your weights. So if you have a character, you have a rig, you have to paint the weights. Well, Houdini does it procedurally. You don't have to paint anything. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna, this rig pose node allows me to manipulate the rig. So I'm gonna highlight this, move it over, press enter, and then I see my rig and I can actually start moving it. So you have a fully rigged tree. You can take this up a notch and use IK. So I'm gonna, I just want to demo this to you to show you how powerful Houdini can be. So this is gonna get a little bit more advanced. Now I'm gonna choose the root and I want the root to stay. So I'm gonna pin this guy down. And what I want to do is I want to manipulate these. I want to turn these into IKs. Okay, that's good enough. There, and feed this into a full body IK. Sorry, this goes over here. I don't need that. This here. This one over here, this over here. Okay. Organize this a bit better, like here. Name. Now this is my pin root. So I don't want this is the thing over here. This is the point down here. Let me make this bigger. I'm going to make the point a little bigger. So this is my root. I don't want that to move. I only want to move these guys. So I'm going to go and I'm going to put down a transform node. And I'm going to put down a sine wave just because I'm obsessed with sine waves. Okay. Template this. Okay, that's a little fast. Sorry, let me turning this option on. So let me just grab my little this button here tells Houdini render in real time as try to keep up with the real time, as in, because here if you click this button over here, it'll allow you to choose if you want to play back in 24 frames or whatever frames, how fast you want the playback to be. Turning this on will tell Houdini render as close to this animation rate as you can. Sometimes it might be slower just because it's calculating the simulations, but it'll try to keep up as whenever it can. If we turn it off, it'll just render as fast as it can. So you see this is going crazy. This is not 24 frames per second. This is however fast it can go. If we turn it on, it's a little bit more normal. Let me turn this on. Let me turn off the points. And you see that the root is not being pinned very well. So I can come over here. Let me get rid of that arrow. Come over to my full body IK and I can actually tell it, follow the, listen to the root. Pin 0.0. So I didn't name my points yet. So that's the reason of this weird naming. If you named your rig properly, you won't have that. But this is a quick demo. And it's that tells Houdini. Oh, let me do that again. This here. The priority tells Houdini, follow this point to the T, to the priority 1. It has the highest priority. I want you to follow that. As always, I don't want the root to move at all. So this is a fully rigged tree. That's pretty cool. And this tree has UVs. So you can actually plug this and you drop it into Substance Painter and then add some bark textures or anything you want, and you have a very realistic tree. Just looking at my notes. Now you can take this tree, say I want the tree to be a little bit taller, more. Let's go back to the LSystem up here. And I'm gonna go to generations. Here. This one. Oh, it's off by a bit. Okay. This. Generations, I wanna make it a little larger. We'll grow it. Thought this was so cool. Okay, I'll have to update the pinpoints. The root is always 0, so that one's okay. But this one I have to update. It might still work though. Let's see. Let's render this. Template something else. This is very handy in Houdini. You can see 2 things at once. The purple template is sort of like your onion ring. Or the onion layer when you're doing 2D animation. If you want to look at something else, look at a different layer. This is sort of like a light grayish hint of what there is, so you can look at 2 things at once. And I can still play it. I'm gonna play this one. So this is where the animation is. So it still works, which is really cool. Because rigging trees take a long time. This is less than 5 minutes. And I got a fully rigged tree with animation. And UVs. Oh, I don't need to save this. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have on my list. I think I knocked out everything. I'm starting to lose my voice. Cool. Does anyone have any questions? Anything you are wondering, not clear? I went over too fast, or any questions? I hope this convinces people to why you should learn Houdini. It's definitely valuable. Houdini is is a very comprehensive program. You can use it for almost, it touches on a lot of different industries, not just the 3D world. Medical research, because Houdini is able to eat up all large amounts of data like nothing. If you wanted to feed in a large data set into Houdini, it can handle it quite easily. I mean, it can handle polygons and points, millions of polygons and points, without even slowing down its viewport. The data sets, it's because Houdini was designed on very efficiently for parallelism, parallel programming, and concurrency. The wrangle nodes, that's like the vex stuff that everyone that is known to be a little scary, the vex, but it's actually not. These nodes are so powerful because they're computed in parallel. Whatever you do in this node is applied to one point, because let's see, I'm just getting my little, so that is one point. If I want to apply if I want to apply this piece of code, whatever is in here, to all the points, this piece of code will run for one point, for each point at the same time. So this piece of code is going to run on a million points. If you feed in like a sphere, oops. There, okay. If you feed in a sphere, and I'm just gonna, oh, right, I should mention that. So I took this and I right-clicked it, parameters and channels, parameters, to detach, to get like a floating parameter window. And that'll detach it like this. Then you can really look at 2 things at once and do everything. So I can actually manipulate the sphere while type coding in the wrangle. So that's really huge. And another thing in the Wrangle, if you want to make this text box larger, one of the upgrades they threw in a couple releases ago is to make this text box larger. I think it's the best upgrade SideFX has ever done. Control plus or control minus. So it's very similar to what you do in the browser. Control plus and minus. Best upgrade ever. Anyways, if you have, so here I have a lot of points for the sphere and I feed it into this Wrangle. This piece of code will run for every single point and each point at the same time. That's very powerful because, well, nowadays a lot more applications have parallelism implemented, but this implemented this efficiently is really, really nice. So this allows a lot of possibilities. You can parse in large data sets even. So you can put in, plug in a CSV file, like a data, that's like a spreadsheet file with a data set and plug it into Houdini and parse it with Vex. It'll eat it up like nothing. Cool. All right, that's basically all I had for today. Just checking the chat to see if there's any questions. Anyone has anything they want me to demo or? Oh wow, there's so much chat. Oh my god, my OBS broadcasting stopped working. I'm so sorry, I missed all the chat. Okay, now it's refreshing. Oh my god, I had to press this button to refresh. I'm so sorry, I missed all this stuff. I didn't know it. I thought it would automatically scroll down. I was just staring at it. I thought people were just ignoring me. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me go over this one at one. 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm a newbie here. Oh wow. I missed a lot. I'm so sorry. I didn't know this doesn't automatically scroll down. Oh, let's see. I'm going all the way back up. Oh my god. Houdini in modeling, Houdini in simulation. Is Karma XP a good enough, or shall we use third-party renderers? Do you have a Discord community or something we can ask or doubts? Yeah, I definitely have a Discord. I've been trying to get that more. I'm trying to build up the Discord community because there's a lot more features in Discord that allows me to communicate with everyone a lot better. You can actually, I got this nitro thing, don't really know how to use it that well though, that allows me to share my screen and allows members to share their screen if I have configured the permissions correctly. I have known to mess up the permissions a lot. And I apologize. Newbie here. Okay, let me try and get an invite. I'm not sure how this works. Invite people. Okay. Now where do I paste this? Oh, darn. I have this complicated setup with a video capture card just because the Houdini simulations tend to bog down the PC, bog down the stream. So every single time I simulate, people used to complain that the screen would just freeze. So I had to get this capture card and this really complicated 2 PC setup. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry that I missed all the comments. I honestly, I just thought people were just ignoring me. I didn't know that OBS doesn't automatically scroll down. Okay, so here it is. Let's see if this works. Okay, so there's the server. Let's see. Codium AI is great for Vex. I've actually never heard of Codium AI. I'll check that out right after this session. I presume the opportunities will shrink, but there will still be opportunities. The industry, I assume you're talking about AI because that comment was a long time ago. So sorry. Salvio is commenting, presume the opportunities will shrink, but there will still be opportunities. That is true. The industry is going to change. The problem with AI is that AI is growing so fast that the industry is changing faster than what humans can adapt to. And that is very, very scary. This is not the first time that has happened. Throughout history, we've seen the Industrial Revolution, like back, okay, history is not my forte. Like back in the day when the steam engine and all that came in, people were dying of starvation because machines were replacing humans. Human labor, they would work a whole week and still not even afford a loaf of bread. Like literally day and night. And they couldn't produce things faster than what the machines were. And I think at the end of a decade, I believe it was England, I'm not sure, 10% of the entire country starved to death. And that was very, very sad. Until the next king had banned all of machines from replacing human labor. So that is really, really scary. I think the government should slow AI down. I don't think AI will replace humans. But it is changing the industry too fast. I mean, we go to school, dude. We go to school for like 4 or 5 years. I mean, it takes time. Even if you do your self-learning at home, it takes time to learn. By the time you come out, having AI, just having AI boom like that, oh, we can do this. We need time to adapt. So the speed of AI is very scary. And the fact that the governments and politics is not stepping in is really crazy. I mean, they seem to have a voice in everything but this. Flaming Burn. That made me feel a little less doomed about all AI. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. I really want to give hope to everyone about AI. It's not this godlike thing. I'm very skeptical about what AI can do. I don't think it'll ever replace humans, but that doesn't mean your managers won't try. So we still have to be diligent. We still have to keep learning. We have to diversify our skill set. We have to keep up to date with AI. When AI has advancements, we should be the ones to know, because you want to know where AI is heading. If you're not on top of the news, you're gonna get, you're losing out. If there's a godlike monster out there, you want to know where it's going. Will there be a record of this room? I believe so. I think it just goes on to the channel. I believe so. I did forget to click the record button though. Crap. I hope so. I started learning last week. Any beginner tips? All this stuff. Sorry, these comments are so I had missed all of them. I'm so sorry. So hopefully what I had mentioned at the beginning is good enough tips for you. My 2 cents, the way that I learned is because Houdini can do a lot and it can get overwhelming. You don't know where to start. Try playing around with the SOPs, and that's the labs. Try playing around with the labs because those are really, really fun. You want to keep your passion up. You want to keep your motivation up. Play around with all the lab nodes as much as you can. All these lab nodes, try all of them out. and get familiar with Houdini, and then try getting into the simulations. Pick one simulation: Flip, Pyro, Venom, RBD, Points, PopNet. Pick one, just one, and play around with it. Become an expert at it. You can actually find out. You'll discover that you'll earn so much skill points that you're almost ready to be hired, because when you have one specialized skill, you can represent yourself better in the industry. Now, take this with with a grain of salt. I've never actually worked in the VFX industry, so take this with a grain of salt. But if you specialize in one thing and you go with that and you sell that out to your clients, sell that out to your potential market, you'll have a higher chance of getting hired, because your client will go like, oh, this guy, hire the flip specialist. We need a water scene. If you represent yourself, I can do anything in Houdini. It's not as much of a selling point. But take what I have with a grain of salt. Any specific course or structure you have been following? I am very random. I learn whatever I want to learn. That's the best thing about self-learning. You can learn anything you want. I really like KineFX. I really like character animation. Really hooked in that. But that's not the most popular thing, and that's not the thing that Houdini has been famous for. You need to know that. But I just so happen to really love procedural animation. So I've been obsessed with sine waves. Like, I've made these, what I thought was pretty cool. Let me see if I have a clip. I made this really nice skateboard animation where I have Eric. The Eric is the rig, the test rig that's on SideFx library, free for you to download and to test out. I used to be obsessed with that character just because he's fully rigged, but now they have Electra. Electra is another test rig, which is a lot better. Electra. This test rig, it's a mannequin. Okay, let me clean out some of this. I just need more real estate. This is amazing. It looks very similar to the Unreal Engine mannequin, doesn't it? The bones are actually named the same too. I think they did that on purpose so that your animations would be more compatible with the Unreal Engine bone rig, mannequin rig. And I actually tried porting I did some animations with this, and then I ported it over into Unreal Engine, and it actually worked. I needed to retarget this character to an Unreal Engine Mannequin 4, but that was very simple. It was literally 2 clicks, and then I retarget it from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, the Unreal Engine 5 mannequin, and that you need that step. But the point was that it's very, very easy, just because the bone naming system for this character is very similar to Unreal Engine's bone system. So sorry, this one, there we go. Like, can do all sorts of this and Electra, this character rig is very efficiently set up for ragdolls. So if you want to have fun with ragdolls, this is the way to go. Let's see, check out Integma. Yeah, Integma has really awesome tutorials, especially Vex. They have a lot of Vex tutorials too. 9 Between, I don't think I've seen a lot of video listings for 9 Between. I don't think I've actually watched any of them. I remember he had a lot of don't be afraid of Vex or something. There's a lot of thumbnails of that. You absolutely, this bubble pins, also good stuff. Oh yeah, I have stuff too. I have a lot of basic concept stuff, so I go step by step. You can check all that out too. Any communities of artists, like Houdini artists in Discord, where we collaborate like-minded. You can join my Discord. I'm slowly growing it. Media Google. Cool. I'll check that. I'll check Media Google out. Community procedural is official. I'm just looking over the comments. Is it responsive like beginner, intermediate artists get responses? Does it have a Discord server? Yep, I do. I have put it into the link. I'm so sorry again. I'm replying. It's because OBS doesn't automatically scroll down, and I thought people were just ignoring me. So sorry. So I'm going back onto reading all the comments and answering them one at a time. Yes, I think she linked to in the tab there. Thanks. Anyone has clear that regarding a simple RBD sim? Unfortunately, RBD doesn't have the quick things like flip, configure, like all these configure simulations. RBD doesn't have that yet. Like if you go RBD, configure, this configure is not what you think. This configure node, let me just put it down, is actually packing the RBD packs. So it is not the same as flip configure. It's not these configure. These are fully configured functional simulation setups. The RBD configure, this node is not that. This node is packing them. It's part of the RBD simulation setup process. I actually can create. Oh, that goes another thing I forgot to show. Someone did ask about karma and is it hard. Now, as a beginner into Houdini, karma does have its challenges just because karma is relatively new to Houdini. It's a very, very young rendering engine. Now, if you want to get started into it, sometimes you're a newbie into Houdini and you create something and you just want to render it. What to do, and you want to render it in karma. So let's take this tree for example. I'm gonna put this aside. I've already done it. So let's take this tree example, and I just want to render this tree. First of all, let me add some color to this. Color. I think unpack. Points. Primitives. Sorry, I didn't need to unpack it. What did I don't need to unpack it. And okay, attribute randomize. I'm going to randomize the color. I just want color all over this. So hopefully you can see that there's like random color everywhere. So there's random color, and I just want to render this out. Now I created this HDA node for cases like this. It's not a fancy node, but it'll give you a render really quickly. So it's called Quick Karma Materials. Drop it in. I like to color my RBD HDA nodes red. Click this, and I'm just gonna create materials. It'll create the Solaris material and the whole setup for you. Okay, and it'll go into it as well. So it creates one very basic material, and it grabs the color node. So the nodes get bunched up together like this, but don't worry. Hover the mouse over the node network and press L. It'll line it up for you. So this HD automatically brings in the color attribute and plugs it into the material. Very, very simple setup. Now let me go up a level, up a level. Now it's all bunched up again. Press L. Clear it for you. And also this import node. So this may be a little daunting. This is a little more advanced because Karma relies on Solaris, and you have to have your scene set up in Solaris in order to render in Karma. So that's where my HDA comes in. It'll do all this stuff for you. So, okay, we have a tree rig. This tree rig name in here, and let me grab my tool. Oops. So this tree rig name is grabbed from the last connecting node, the name of the last connecting node by my HDA. This is not by default in Solaris. So my HDA goes like, okay, what's the last thing that's connected to it? It's this thing, and it's called tree rig. So I'm just going to use this name to populate whatever in Solaris. Now, one thing is that I've randomized the color onto points. Karma uses Solaris, and Solaris relies on primitives. You always have to put everything on primitives in order for Karma to see it. And it creates this HDA. When I clicked this Create Materials button, it created a LOPNet. LOPNet is what you use to render stuff in Karma. However, it places it in a random spot. So it's over here. You have to search for it. And I apologize for that. I still don't know how to program the HDA to put it in a nice spot. But it creates the LOPNet, double click into it, and then how do you turn on Karma after all that? Well, you can go here. I'm going to click this and turn on XPU. This is Karma XPU using the GPU to render. Give it a second. And you're starting to get, this is rendering in Karma. So that's what the HDA is, my HDA is meant to do. Let me turn up the light. Okay, that's a bit better. It looks a little weird just because I just put random colors on it. So hopefully that answers that question. A little late to answer, sorry. Again, so sorry. I didn't know OBS doesn't scroll down on the comment section. You're live at the perfect time. I'm good. I'm glad. I was a little worried about this timing. I could ask. I was viewing the viewports through the camera, and I wanted to zoom out of the viewport and not the camera itself. Oh. Okay, let's go back up. Now, say I created a camera. Control, left click, let me, here. Control, left click this, and it will create a camera in this viewport, in this perspective. Control click. So you can see that my camera is on. Okay, I'm going to close that back. And if I start like changing stuff, it sticks. This is the actual, the camera view, because this is locked. So this lock button is enabled. If I uncheck this and then I turn it, I lose the camera. Like I can't control the camera anymore. Go into the camera view, lock it, and you can control the camera view. So hopefully that helps. Alt. Or sometimes you just, you escape. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna disable this for a second. And then I'm out of here. Sometimes you're inside a function, like you're inside, if I'm in here, let me show something else. Okay, if I'm in this sphere and I press enter and I want to control the camera because like here, okay, I want to see what it looks on the other side. Press Alt, press down, hold it, control the camera, look at the other side, release it, and you're still in the sphere widget. You're still in here. You haven't lost your controls. You're still manipulating this. And then that's a way where you can switch between camera view or viewport. You change your viewport camera without losing your state in the widget. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Composition matter. Can zoom. Hello, my dear friends. I was do a lot for ocean spectrum extension troubles. I don't remember receiving. I do have a lot of requests. I get a lot of requests for a lot of different topics. It's probably still in the works. Ocean spectrum. I do have a ocean spectrum. But the videos are quite dated. It was one of the earlier videos I've done. It desperately needs a redo, just because sidefx has released a lot of newer flip SOP tools. It's in the works. Hopefully, like I said at the beginning of this session, I'll be able to push things out faster with these streams because I can focus on the material. I don't have to worry about, the intro, the hook. I'll still have to create a thumbnail, but that's part of the game. If you're using this platform, you have to play the game. Hopefully I can produce things more faster with these lives. So please be patient. I'm working on it. It's just I get a lot of requests in each topic. I do go into really thorough research and everything. And I try to think, what is the best way to explain this to someone? And a lot goes through my mind. And I'm just slow. And I apologize for that. Can you teach how to do Pyro Sim on very fast moving object? Like plane is moving very fast on 3D space. Plane is moving very fast 3D space. Oh, I think you want tracking. I believe you want tracking. Let's see. Can't remember, but I think sidefx has a tracking one. Billowing smoke. Spreading fire. Aerial explosion. I believe it was this one. There was one of them that had tracking enabled. Okay, just give it a second. I'm just gonna load it. Okay, I had to zoom out. Okay, let me stop it for a second. Zoom out. This one's really cool, but it takes a while to load. I thought this was really cool. This is good for aerial explosions, like the description says. You have airplane crashes or stuff like that. This is really cool. This is already ready. You can just stick this in. Just increase the resolution. Just stick this in your shot. But I will look into that. I will look into the tracking, and I'll definitely in the next session, I'll include that in. Don't worry. I will add that in. Someone help me out, please. Can find out how to zoom. Okay, hopefully that answers the zooming question. Sorry, I'm answering these comments really late. Oh my god, and the zoom's not working. The scroll is not working in OBS. Oh, I should stop using this. Okay, let me auto track. I will, where is this? Zoom out viewport. I can see the camera in the top right. I was viewing. Oh. Find solution anywhere on Google. New After Effects or Fusion. Be better for that. It is true. You can use After Effects or Fusion to composite these explosions in, and it'd be a lot faster. But you can create your own explosion. So say if you wanted something very unique to your project that you can't find in the stock footage for plates, you can create your own. This is the magic. Like, you can create something that doesn't exist, that unique enough, that's never been seen, and that will make your shot, your scene stick up. I mean, if you just want an ordinary pyro scene that everyone, just a plain pyro scene, just regular thing, yeah, you don't need this. This might be a little overkill. I mean, you can still do it. And just because you're more, it depends what program you're familiar with, though. If you're more familiar with Houdini, then it's probably easier just to do it in Houdini. Then if you're more familiar and more comfortable with compositing plates, then yeah, go for that. But this will allow you the flexibility to create something that you cannot find in stock footage or in stock plates. Using your plane velocity into your static mesh. I don't know if probably some way like point the form to attach it. I'm so sorry. I'm reading the questions a lot later. Oh wait, that's not for me. Okay. I was viewing the viewport through the camera. See the composition, top right corner, enabled. No, I don't want to mess with the camera. I want to zoom out. Oh, you only want to zoom out the viewport. So the camera in the viewport becomes smaller. So I can see the camera in the viewport. I'm not getting that. Like the size of the camera? So you just want to change the size, the physical size of the camera. Like this? Oop. Like this. Now, in order to focus onto... So as you can see, if I go like this, it's rotating in a weird direction. And I just want to rotate around this camera. Select the camera. So I'm selecting the camera right here. Mouse over the viewport. Mouse over viewport, press F. Now I can rotate around the camera. So it's a little more controlled. So you want to... The physical size, I believe you want to make this smaller. You can try and go inside here and just change this size. Or just add another transform. Does that help? Is that what you want? But remember, this is... Because this is... Yeah, I think that's what you want. So the physical size of the camera is now a lot smaller in comparison. Like you can see here, if we go in again, and I'm going to disable this. Let's go back out. So it's a little bigger. Enable it. It's a lot smaller. It's like a speck. Is that what you want? Can we do Pyro Sim on wedging? I mean, doing multiple simulations with same solver with same parameter. I'll add that onto the list for the next time. The wedging is really interesting. Actually, yeah, that could be the next stream, because then I can use wedging to demonstrate all other, other things as well. So I could hit 2 topics in one session. Okay, I'll add that in. Pyro tracking. Wedging, so I can hit 2 things, multiple topics all at once. Alt right click. That's not it either. Applied. Houdini has some really good wedging with Pyro Sims Clinton. I would advise you watch some viewer. Yes, you can watch. I don't have any wedging tutorials though on my channel. That's the regret. I never really got around to it, and that's the thing again I keep ranting about, is like, hopefully these live sessions will give me more time to work on the actual material, actually putting out material, rather than, you know, editing long videos. Oh, it's so time consuming, and sometimes I just want to show you the cool things in Houdini without making an intro and what the editing and you know, the YouTube thing. Will it blend? Okay, I'm not sure what that one is. I'm rereading the comments just because OBS failed me with the comments. So I'm not sure. Some of these don't make sense now because I'm so slow. How do you, okay. And it basically auto track your object. What if you use cosine so it stick to the left side and do a noise based on the bend stress? Because it runs over point. Do you ever work on Python in Houdini? Okay, I'm so sorry, Drew VFX. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The cosine so it sticks to the left and it noise based on the bend stress. It's probably because I'm rereading the comments too late. Maybe if you can ask that again, if you're still here. I know I'm a little late. Flaming burn. Do you ever work with Python in Houdini? I do, but I usually use it to create HDAs. Like the quick HDA was done in Python. Let's see. This my quick HDA. It's all in Python. I can, and this is where I hide all my messiness. This is all Python. I've been meaning to learn more like Python states to create even more interactive HDAs, but I'm still learning that. It's still in the works. It'll take a while before you'll see anything come up. Do you ever work? Awesome stream. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to say. Can you do machine learning in Houdini? I don't know. I never tried. I think it's possible. It should be, because Houdini is so powerful, and there's Vex and there's Python. There's so many, and in I think the Houdini 19 or Houdini 18, sidefx introduced an H server, which is like a Python server that you can hook Houdini, and it can communicate via the server with other applications, which is amazing. That means you can create a program in a language of your choice, an external program, and then have it communicate over the port, over the app port on your same computer, like the local host. You can always do that on your same PC. And the possibilities are limitless once you hit that. So in a sense, Houdini can do machine learning because you can always hook it up to an external machine learning program. I was doing your mod. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Because I completely ignored the comments. I didn't know OBS doesn't scroll. It just literally froze. It literally froze on a point in the comment section. Thank you so much, Drew VFX. Another question: how do you practice Houdini as a beginner? I get the resources part, watching videos, but how do you practice and solidify your learning? What are some concrete steps for it? Concrete steps. That goes with habits. Personal goals is try. I personally would try to do 3 things every day. If you're a complete beginner in Houdini, try to do 3 things, new things, in Houdini. Learn 3 new things in Houdini every day. And do that for a month. I think you'll find that you would, or do this. Try 3 new nodes in Houdini every single day for like 2 weeks. By then, I think you would be pretty efficient in Houdini. That would get you started really well. If a daily habit is not your thing, because sometimes, you know, life gets the better of us, it happens. I would try to have a goal in mind. Like, there's a project I've always wanted to try, like to create a poster and do that all in Houdini. That involves a lot because you need a background, you need a main character, you need to learn how to control the camera, you need to learn how to control the lights, you need to learn how to control set up Karma and Solaris. So by the time you're finished that one poster, it might take a while, but think of all the topics that you've touched. You'd probably graduate from an beginner to intermediate by the time you're finished that poster. So have a personal goal in mind, either a daily habit, if that's your thing, like learn 3 nodes a day, or have a personal goal. Like, I want to create a poster, but aim small at the beginning. Try something small because I don't want people to get overwhelmed. So think of a personal goal. Let's see. I watched your video about deleting glue constraints by custom force. Can you show how we can do the same velocity from Pyro burst source? Glue constraints, custom force. I'm trying to think of when that was. I think it was a blog post I did. Custom force. I'm trying to think of what that post was. 1 second. Let me look it up. RBD. Glue constraint. Let me see. Here. This is what I'm trying to figure. I vaguely remember it. I sort of remember. It's been a while. Was it this one? No, manual create. You said deleting. Custom force. Maybe I should type in custom force. Oh, destroying things with this? Oh, I can't. Okay, let's try it. Destroying things with force field in Houdini. I think this is the one you're referring to. Okay. But you want to do it in Pyro. Let's see. What was the question again? Let's see after. I lost the question. Oh no. Can you show how we can do the same velocity from Pyro burst source? Oh, you just want the velocity. Oh, that's very simple. If you ever want to create a velocity field, there's actually... Okay, let's try this. Okay. And I'm going to throw an animation on it because I need it to move. So I'm going to keyframe this. Keyframe Alt, left click. Well, okay, let me go on to first the frame 1. And then Alt, left click. You'll see it turn green. That means there's a keyframe. Then go to the timeline. I'm gonna, I don't know, 24. Let's go 24. Okay, I'm gonna make it 2. And then keyframe again, Alt, left click. Okay, so we have an animation. And I'm gonna turn this into velocity field. Point velocity. think it's this one. Yes, this added velocity. Okay, you can see that there's... Let me make this a little bigger. You can see that there's velocity now. We have velocity thanks to this node. It calculated it. Oh. Okay. There's velocity being calculated thanks to this node. I want to actually see it on the viewport to have a visual debug. So hover your mouse over here, press I, and then I'm going to create a marker. Press this V, because V is the velocity. That's what's created. The attribute, the velocity attribute that's created attached to the points. Click it. Now, if you click this and nothing happens, it means that you have to enable your markers over here. Okay, you have to enable the markers over there. If this is not enabled, even if you click this, it won't do anything. See? So enable that, and it still won't do anything. Right click, and you have to enable this marker as well. So if you don't see it, you have to make sure your markers are turned on. Right click, and make sure there's a check mark here. Okay, okay, let's see. So you can tell that the velocity, boing. So there's velocity on here. Let's see. Pyro configure. Let's what's a quick one? Sure, let's just do this. Burst. Pyro source burst. Let's see. I don't think I can. Let me try. Let's just try to hook it up. I wonder if it'll actually take it in. Ah, this node takes a long time too. Okay, it is taking it in. It takes a while to load though. I'm trying to stop it. It is quite heavy. I think this is too big though. Let me make it smaller. Just because for demo purposes. Otherwise it'll load forever. So we have something a lot smaller. Let's see if that'll help. Oh, I think I have to lower the resolution for the pyro burst. Where is the resolution? Burst animation, start on frame. Initial size, display, quick setups, single input point, source volume. Let's try that. I don't think it's pulling in my thing. Could do it the old-fashioned way. Seed setup, burst animation, explosion type muzzle. These are predefined. So the pyro burst source is nice that it has predefined velocity emissions already in here. I was trying to use this to be lazy so it would create it for me, but I don't think I can. Let me see if it'll work if I just plug it in. I'm trying to be lazy. Okay, so that worked. So this, if you can see it, it faintly creates this volume. Very faint. I hope I have the naming correct though. Nope. You have to name it in the right thing. Let's see. Oh, it's just P. density, temperature, burn, B. Okay, let's create it. Attributes. I'm going to use a wrangle. Yeah, I'm going to use a wrangle. Temperature, burn. Okay, let's create F at density equals 1. Just something quick. Okay. That's not much of a... Okay, I have to tune this. So, I don't know if this is enough for you. Oh. I can't delete this because some of these... This Pyro solver has something linked to this node over here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here. See, some of these things are linked to this guy. So he has to stay around. If I had time, I would go, you know, recreate my own Pyro, like drop my own one in. But then I have to fine tune it, which I'm trying to create a quick demo. So this will get you a very simplistic velocity field. Velocity field to help you manipulate your Pyro simulation. This here is just putting a density because this node needs to convert it into attributes that the Pyro solver will understand. So I just put in 1 just because, you know, time constraints. I just something so we can see. And I'll convert it. I mean, realistically, you should be a little more fancy with temperature, burn, and velocity. Like, you would have a lot of different attributes. We have velocity from here, density, and velocity. So that it can grab. It can grab these guys, the density and the velocity. It needs the density because it doesn't know how thick to make the cloud. Velocity we already have because we have this point velocity that tells it where to go. Then this will convert this node volume rasterized attributes will convert it into something that the Pyro solver can understand. So if you be a little, that's what this node is. This Pyro burst source does it a very fancy velocity field, but it does it for you with you know, a choice of you can have like explosion, muzzle, flash. You can try these out. They're very fun, but some of them do take a while to cook. So be patient. Hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. I have a small setup for the same I can share in Discord. I think the most complex thing about Karma is the proper configuration of USD files. Yes, I do have a Solaris video though. You can check out that. Goes over the very, very, very basic setup. Let me. That goes because that one was. Oh, there it's right there. Karma. Actually, I have 2. One for Solaris and one for Karma, for basic Karma material, which goes into that. But I think you are referring to... Oh, I have to do it on the other computer. Why am I copying on this computer? Oh, I keep forgetting. 1 second. This one. Okay, I will just paste it into the comment section. So this one, this link is about the Solaris. And if you are really interested, I have one that goes more into Karma materials. Basics. They're very basic concepts. Karma materials. Okay, that should be in the comment section. So I think the configuration. Is it jarring going from mantra to karma? Actually, no. It is very, very easy because a lot of the karma nodes are based off of mantra. You can they're even compatible too. So let's go in here. What is a good this is the one in a million times I would use the shelf tool. I don't really like the shelf tool that much, but it does have samples that it sets up the mantra nodes, which is a good one. Okay, let's just do this. I don't know. Control go, please. Okay, good. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. Okay, we come in here. There is a mantra. This is a mantra material. I can actually copy this, but there is a lot of links. That's the disappointing part. You have to get rid of all these links. I did it once before. Removed every single link, copied this material, and popped it into Karma. It worked right off the, like, after you got rid of all these links, though. You had to, like, go and delete every single one of these. And there's a lot of these. But it will work. So the Karma materials and mantra materials are compatible. After using mantra a lot, Karma feels so scary. No, don't get scared. Solaris may be a little tiny bit overwhelming, but just because you need Solaris set up for Karma. Now, but it's worth learning. You need to know Solaris is the future. In my Solaris video, I try to convince you the values of Solaris, because Solaris is all about USD and it's all about collaboration, and those big name studios are all using USD. USD is like the future, or it's actually a lot used right now, because a lot of, when you're working for a big huge studio, you have so many departments. You have your lighting department, you have your modeling department, you have your director, and they all need to contribute all to the same scene, and that's where USD comes into play, and that's where the complexity of Solaris, why Solaris has that complexity, because they need to integrate all these different scene files, all these asset files into multiple scenes. It can handle so many different things. You can have your whole movie on it. And it needs to do it in an efficient way. And there's actually merging capabilities, and it goes all into that. It is a bit much. I'm still learning a lot of it. But hopefully my quick Karma HDA, that gets you set up. It makes a very simplistic Solaris setup and a very simplistic Karma material just to get you going. But it is worth learning if you ever plan to work for a big name studio. For the section rules and announcement Discord, I don't have permission to see messages. I'm so sorry. I'm still working on the Discord permissions. I really gotta fix those. I will fix that right after this session. I'm still learning Discord. It's so complicated. It's like Linux. Water rendering mantra is really fast comparing to Karma. That I'm not too sure. Because Karma is using the GPU, you must have a really fast CPU. Karma is really slow for me for anything. Sorry, mantra is really slow for me for anything. It could be that the particular scene water scene that you have has very little reflections, but once you get into like more refractions, do you have anything in the water? Because once you get, you know, into that, and then more reflections, and then and you have a flip simulation, you have interaction of collisions, and it's going to get a little tricky, and shadows and lights and everything. Yeah, I've had my share of, oh no, I lost my position in the chat. Let's see. I lost, oh no. Man, this scrolling thing is really hard. Does anyone know of a plugin that can handle this comment section a little bit more efficiently? Please let me know. This is very hard to control. Sappy Dev is asking, what do you do for a living or day job? I don't know. I'm in a tricky place. I went to school for coding, for computer science, and I've, you know, did that a few years and had the corporate life suck the life out of me. Then I wanted more creative control over my work. Yeah, and here I am. But I didn't have enough money for another fancy, expensive education. So I was like, okay, do I want this or not? I gotta find a way. Okay, let's try this self-learning thing. There's so much tutorials online. So okay, so I, you know, let's take that as far as I can go. And then here I am. I really want to do this for a living, but I haven't found a way to actually become sustainable yet. I've you know, it's hard. It's hard, especially in this economy. Still working on that. So I'm in a really funny place right now. I'm still in that transitional period. If you would, I would say that. Pizzola says hi. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Just enjoyable, great tutorials. Thank you for saying that. She has a calming voice. I'm actually losing my voice right now. I'm really dehydrated. So I'm probably gonna end this stream soon. Do you do ASMR videos? I finally know what ASMR is. The first time someone mentioned that was many, many years ago. I actually didn't know what it was. I was like, what's ASMR? No, I don't do ASMR videos. I don't know what to say. I guess I could read a book. I could. Many years ago, I had trouble sleeping, but for some strange reason, I would pick up this physics book, and start reading something, and for the life of me, I could never stay awake. Literally 3 minutes in, and I would just fall flat on the desk. It's the best textbook for sleeping. It's the best story reading. I could read that to you and put everyone to sleep. I'm not saying anything bad about physics. It's just that I was really tired, and physics is very complex, and I'm not very good at it. So that put me to sleep. But there are some physics things that does keep me awake and gives me mind blown. Like I really love the history of physics, Maxwell, and how Newton came on the apple. Everyone loves that story. That I'm really, really into. Imagine the context. Yeah, increase your substats like that now. Do a nice and long cache of the sim now. Drop down right on. Exactly. Drew VFX got it. By the way, congrats on your short. was really well crafted. Oh, can someone send me a link? I would like to see it. To Pizzola's short. Sorry. So sorry if I mispronounced that. I have to cut my leg to stay awake. Thanks. It took a lot of effort. I'll be working on another one, but for Shadow of Colossus. Ooh, this sounds interesting. Someone has to send me a link to the short. Now I really want to know. Oh, I share stuff on Discord. I started to learn about Houdini in your videos, and now I work for a CG studio. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. So David is saying that I started learn about Houdini from your videos. I'm assuming he's referring to my videos. And now I work for a CG studio using it. He says, thank you so much. Thank you for watching and telling me that. That's so awesome. That is really, really awesome. That makes me very happy that I can help someone. That I can actually, that my stuff is useful. That's very nice to know. And thank you for telling me. And congratulations. That sounds super exciting. Here in Italy, the VFX industry is so dead. I have heard about that. There were a couple people that talked to me about that. I'm not familiar with, well, I'm not familiar at all with any industry, with any parts of the world of the VFX industry. But a few people have mentioned that in Italy, the VFX market is a little smaller. You are doing one burst per point. It will explode everything. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm reading these comments really late. I don't remember what I did. I must have did something wrong with that Pyro demo. I don't even remember where it is. Oh, here. Was it? I don't remember. I don't remember where it was. Sorry. It must have... I will do a better one in the next session. I'm more prepared. Wait, you don't have a density attribute in the sphere. Oh, I added one afterwards. What did you do to stop it? What did I do to stop the pyro? I don't remember. Oh, to stop the simulation, there's a stop button over here. So if you play the timeline, it'll start cooking the simulation. You can stop it by pressing this, or sometimes it goes like cooking. You can press escape, but it takes a few times. Like it doesn't stop it right away. You still have to let it finish calculating. You have to let Houdini finish its trail of thought, and then it'll stop on the next round. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, like Pizola says, it's escape. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Y cancels everything. Oh, Solaris. Oh, I just lost my cool beans. I share you with the version USD, and the Slayers of Karma will be fine in the future. It is, but no use to use it on Unreal. Actually, Unreal is... I don't know if anyone has seen the Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, the GDC, Unreal Engine revealed that it has new features to incorporate Marvelous Designer clothing in Unreal, that blew my mind. I was waiting for that for so long, to create clothing for the metahuman characters. I was waiting for that so long. I was actually creating clothing for Reallusion characters to get them successfully into Unreal Engine. So I had to go around that. But the metahuman characters are so nice. It just doesn't have the clothing that you want. So this new update. It's in Unreal Engine 5.4 preview right now. It's out. I had it downloaded. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. That is exciting for me. So I think Unreal will have more USD features in 5.4. Do you the link for Discord? Yeah, the link is in there. Or okay, I can actually post it again. Oh, I keep using that computer. Oh, darn. Okay. Okay, hopefully that helps. Let's see. Have you tried geometry nose, or what do you think of it? Geometry. Oh, Blender's geometry nose. Yes, I have tried it. Just a very basic. What was that? I was following a tutorial. What was it? Oh, what was that guy called? CG Matters, I think it was. He has a really awesome tutorial. I can't remember what I did with it though. I can't remember anything right now. That was months ago when I tried it. I did try it, and it is really awesome. It's very Houdini like. I just thought it was like, oh, this is almost identical to Houdini. Except Blender has uses cycles. And I was a huge cycles fan back in the day. I was using a Houdini to cycles workflow just because cycles was free and I didn't have money to buy an external rendering engine at the time. Now we have Karma, so I don't use Redshift. I did shift to Redshift a few years last year, but now that Karma is stable and really production ready, I might as well save a few bucks. I don't even need Redshift anymore. Just to say, Hakem Adam, just here to say thanks for your tutorial. It's been really helpful on my Houdini journey. Thank you for watching them, and I'm glad that it's helping. That brings a lot of closure to me. It means that my stuff is actually useful. That's really cool. David, in our studio FX usually get past to the lighting artist. We hardly get to light FX. Yeah, in your big studios they have departments, and being an artist, you're very inspired and you want to do everything. That's just part of the inspiration. I get it. Corporate life. You can try it on your own personal projects, but yeah. Mantra is really good for me. Yeah, Mantra is actually, I really liked Mantra, but it was very slow for my taste. But other than that, it was a very, very nice rendering engine. It did really quality and renders. I enjoyed doing my Mantra basic concept videos. They were really fun to do. I really enjoyed reading the documentation and learned so much about it. So if you're really into Mantra, you can still check them out because sidefx is not going to update Mantra. So whatever is in my videos will still apply. The short is this one. I didn't get the link. I didn't get the link to your short. Pizzola. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Can you send it again? I didn't really get it. My question, Rahul, my question was to influence RBD destruction sim using velocity from Pyro Burst. We can feed velocity in .NET using pop and backbone. Problem is the glue constraints. Check Discord. Okay, I will. Okay, this is a little complex. I will definitely get back to you on that. I think I know what you mean. You want to use a pyro simulation to create a velocity field, and then the velocity field feed it into RBD, and you're using the old-fashioned .NET approach. that is a little more complex. In the newer RBD stop tools, sidefx put in controls that allow you to control the RBD pieces a lot easier. In the old-fashioned .NET, breaking the constraints is a little more trickier because you have to have a constraint network and a lot of other stuff. In the newer-ish RBD SOP tools, there is actually, like, you can put conditions. You can actually put an animation and then use that to power the breaking of the constraints, which is a lot easier. But I'll get back to you on that. Fun facts. Pizzola. Fun fact, I learned a lot from bubblepins. Ooh, thank you so much for saying that. Follow her. I would really appreciate that. I also work in games. I learned so much from you. Oh, thank you. All these comments are so nice. This is so sweet. Ringo and Salt Wrangle. Thanks for responding. I'll try. No problem. It is not. Oh, okay, that's not for me. After solving this problem, I'm gonna lend a scene to defeat Christopher Nolan. Sorry? After solving this problem, wait a minute. It's not something easy to look at. I get struggle. I'm a little lost in the comments. What are you doing with Christopher Nolan? In future, AI will replace the Houdini? No, it will never. AI will never get that. Well, okay, never say never. Never say never. But I am very skeptical, as I mentioned at the beginning. But that doesn't mean, I really need to say this one more time. Just because I'm skeptical about where AI will reach, I think it is a long time before it can replace humans. But don't let your guard down. Keep learning, diversify your skills, stay up to date with AI. You want to know where it's heading. I mean, if there's a huge monster storm out there, you want to know where the direction is going. So stay up to date with AI and keep learning. Diversify your skills. Oh, did you get the link? No, Pizzola, I didn't get the link. I don't know. I'm really new to this live thing. You can't send link in the YouTube chat. Oh, really? I didn't know that. But mine worked. Oh, did anyone get my links? Oh, no. Okay, I'll post the links on the community tab, on my community tab. I'll post the links on there for the Discord server and the Slayers videos. I'll post that there. I didn't know that. Didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know either. I didn't know that YouTube chat doesn't accept links. I'm kind of sad that you don't remember an email exchange. It's pretty long. I'm so sorry. Drew VFX, I'm so sorry. I get a lot of emails. I will look it up. I promise you. After I take a break, after this session. I can see your links. Flaming Burn says, I can see your links on here. Okay, I guess I'm the only one that can send links. Probably because I'm hosting. The video is called If the Armored Titan Was Real in 4K. Ooh, awesome. I will look that up right after this. Thank you for sending it. Viewers, what's the topic? That's great. Okay. Bro roasted. I am okay. I made it through the list, through the comments list. I think so. Let me scroll down again. All right. I think I'm gonna end it here. thank you all for joining me. I'm super thirsty, so I'm just gonna end it as quickly as possible. Thank you all for joining me. I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If I can get used to this type of a thing, it would allow me to push content out faster and cover all the topics. I know everyone's been sending me a lot of requests through email, through comments, through things. I will get to it. I can finally, this new format will allow me to go through content a lot faster. So hopefully you can look forward to that. And I'll see everyone next time. Thank you for joining me.